All right, let's go to the next question. Anna asks, are there places in the world you will not travel to because of infection potential? I wonder if the instructor's detailed knowledge of pathogens and disease ever makes them think twice about traveling to certain parts of the world. So I want to take that question for two reasons. So one is, I mean, the concrete question, right? So where wouldn't you go to? But also I think the other sort of hidden question that's in here, which I think is interesting, is, you know, as you know more about these things, how does your behavior change? You know, more broadly speaking than just travel. David, you want to give this a shot?
So infectious diseases, no. There's nowhere I would look and say I won't travel there because of infectious diseases, because, you know, the benefit of coming from a Western developed society is that we can arm ourselves ahead of time with both prophylactics as well as knowledge which would prevent ourselves getting infected. So I wouldn't be concerned for some regions. The only reason I wouldn't go to some regions is, of course, some other process which is also infectious, but with a greater degree of virulence, which are certain bad political ideas. So these are areas which are hazardous to one health, and we can think of a range of countries where that would be the case. But the actual biological threats, no. It would be the ideological threats which would prevent me from going to some locations.
So can I push on it a bit? Would you take your children?
When my son was 5 months old, I dragged him into a rainforest in Thailand because I had spent over 2 years in the rainforest, and you know, it was very difficult. We were living in Denmark, and so stuck him on my back, brought him there. It's amazing how many children are born in these countries. It is astonishing how well they survive. He has a really good immune system. He was in the forest. He remembers nothing of it, but I managed to get more research done without having to have a divorce, which is great.
Yeah. So I will say that has been my hesitation. I would go anywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting until the malaria drugs are useful for my 3-year-old, until the 3-year-old can handle those prophylactics to take him to where it's endemic.
Sure.
But that's most of my work has either been HIV or malaria. But that it's been on immature systems, and I've been a wee bit more nervous.
Yeah.
So I don't know. As a scientist, when I saw this question, I thought it was intriguing because I think I would be more likely to go to more places that have the really nasty stuff, or you know, because I'm interested in public health and I'm interested in how these things spread and how we can intervene and change these things. And so I was trying to think of the places that I've been and where I've been most concerned. And you know, I thought, you know, I've been into a measles hospital during an outbreak in Malawi. I've been to a prison in Cambodia to investigate a tuberculosis outbreak, you know, and which was also following on a cholera outbreak in the women's ward of that same prison. And so no, actually, I think absolutely the places that have the pathogens, because that's the thing that's the science that motivates me and excites me. I would absolutely seek those places out. I do think that having knowledge of the system absolutely affects your behavior and should. And I think that one of, as we talked in one of the last AUA sessions, that behavioral change, I think, is one of the most powerful tools that we have in public health. And vaccination and drugs are great, and I'm a big proponent of all of the pharmaceutical developments we have. But if you look at what's had the greatest effect in terms of saving lives and preventing disease, it's been behavioral change. Sanitation, avoidance of people that are ill, and not even you don't have to isolate them, but just knowing when someone's sick, if you understand what the mechanisms are, then you can know to cover your mouth or not come in contact with blood or secretions. So I think having those understanding the biological mechanisms facilitates safe behavior at broad scale.
Yeah. So since everybody's talking about kids, that reminds me that in the mornings when I drop off my daughter, just turned 1 yesterday, for the first few minutes I don't see kids, right? I see infectious individuals, right? And then that goes away after a couple of minutes. But having said that, I have to say that knowing what I know now, and especially what we learn almost every day now about the role of the microbiome, early exposure to these things, I think I'm definitely much more relaxed about the fact that I let my kids play in the dirt.
Yeah.
And I might not have done that if I had not known it, because that would be yuck. But now it's just become so clear that all of these, many of these problems of allergy are really also caused by these things, which makes it a little easier to drop them off into a hostile environment.
Yes, I don't know. So you wouldn't want to visit children's nursery, you're hesitant to visit prisons, but you will. Yes, brothels is another thing. You probably want to be a bit cautious about at this stage. So.
But no countries. Nobody was.
No, I think Matt for this crew is probably spot on.
Yeah.
That I work more with animal diseases, but if there's an outbreak, that's where you want to be. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, we should also say, right, that we now sort of joke about this and put our Indiana Jones hats on. But I mean, in case of really new outbreaks, I'm glad that there's other people, that there are epidemiologists who go out there, to figure out what the hell this SARS thing is. And these people die, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Sure.
So,
Well, and I think joking aside, so I do think that certainly some of these areas that are now getting a very high incidence of extremely drug-resistant tuberculosis, that's not, those are very dangerous. You don't want to seek out high-risk places in those locations around the world, because if you get a drug-resistant TB, then you're going to have a hard time.
Speaking of drug-resistant, that's actually one other place I don't want to be, is a hospital.
Yeah,
I just don't want to be in a hospital. I mean, I'd be glad to be in a hospital if I need a hospital, but I just wish not to be there.
My son cut his eye the other day and maybe needed stitches, maybe didn't. But the primary choice of not going to the ER was that he could die
of bacteria.
Of bacteria. More people in the US, over 100,000 people die of infections they acquire inside the hospital, which is more people than are killed by HIV/AIDS in this country. It's an impressive amount of people. So I prefer the SCAR to the antibiotic-resistant bacteria.
Good choice.
It is funny though. I remember when one of the postdocs who had been more in the wet labs came out to the field to Mozambique, and she not only took the drugs, but put herself under the mosquito net and actually sprayed herself completely and was in almost a complete body bag, so there was no way. So it is interesting how many behaviors you can start to add that can be prevented that you would engage in all at the same time. Then somebody might really have an idea what it might be like to have that condition.
Yeah.